How and welcome. I am Fabian and this is a new episode of Working on Outcast 2. Well, I know, actually it's now called Outcast, A New Beginning, but for the sake of this series, we're going to keep the original title. In this video, I'm going to show you an exclusive first peek at the lore lexicon of the game. I was deeply involved in the production of this lexicon and wrote many of its entries. In this database you find all the characters, all the creatures and all the Agazork terms of the game. So basically it is the in-game version of my Planet Adelpha fansite. You want to know more? Then follow me through the Daoker and enter the world of Adelpha and the creation of Outcast, A New Beginning. I assume most of you know I'm a super big Outcast nerd, so on my website I collected all the details about all the lore, the characters, the language, the rituals, the creatures, the plants, as a full database about the first game. Some of this background information was only found in the manual of the game and not even directly featured in the game itself. So back in the 90s it was usual to have big manuals about games, but nowadays we need better solutions. So from the get-go I wanted to help to create a feature that helped on the one side new players to avoid confusion with all those Agazork terms and names, and on the other hand provide some additional information for those hardcore fans out there like me that want to dig deep into the background lore of Adelpha and all its details. In a previous video I talked about the Talon Citizens, our walking and talking lexicon of Agazork terms. But as the game grew bigger, we realized it's not really fun to always have to find a Talon to talk to find out or remember a certain word or term. It's much easier to also have an additional lexicon in written form to help the player in the world of Adelpha. So we decided to feature a complete glossary in the game, which I call the Lore Lexicon. Looking back at Outcast 1, we also had a very basic feature of a lore lexicon in that game, but it was very short, not very complete. It did not feature longer explanations of terms, it did not feature all the creatures, and it did not feature any characters at all. So keeping track of all those names in the game was sometimes really a nightmare. From this past experience, we wanted to create a better version for the sequel. So the new lexicon includes the Beastiary, the characters, the diaries and the glossary. So let's have a look at each of them. The Beastiary is the place for all animals and robots of the game. It features them both friendly and hostile. So I'm very proud we have a page for every animal in the game with an image, a description and some trivia facts. Here you can see Akor, small and peaceful insects that Talon farmers love because they symbolize fertility. And here is a returning species from the first game, the ferocious Kamenai. Those always attacking groups and are very deadly to the player. Thank God, finally we can shoot and kill them and get rid of them for good. The second section includes all the characters of the game, both Talon and human. And there you can find a description about them, find out their role in the game and also their location. Here you can see the old and wise Shamas Nemet of Emia. He's often consulted for his wisdom and guidance in life. And here's another one called Azan. He's a Fey Talon and a hunter, and he protects Emia from Kamenai with his bow. The third section I wrote is the glossary, which is an improved version of the Outcast 1 lexicon and explains a lot of Talon terms to you. Those entries are unlocked as soon as you encounter this term the first time in the game and it is explained to you. Here is an entry about Agakamon, the human language, which was spoken during the reign of Ferran in Outcast 1. But nowadays it is mostly a forgotten language which only educated Talons like Shamas speak. And here is another one about the essences of the Talons, with reference to Outcast 1 and the conversion ceremony of Talon boys in Shamasa. I took a lot of care to connect the two games in those entries because, you know, Outcast 2 takes place in another place, in another time, but still the events and characters of the first game matter a lot and play an important role for the universe of Adelpha of today. The last section includes the diaries which were written by our narrative designer Domenico Laporta. I don't want to spoil too much about them, but as a first sneak peek, read out one of them to you. Yod-Fe in the sky. On the first moon, I have a better picture of that immense ball of fire I saw. Pure Fey essence in an amount never gathered before. You can't light a fire so big and make it fly in the air. It had the size of a moon, and could it be Yod-Fe? I have seen the Yods for the first time in my existence. For a moment, Yod-Fe and Yod-Ka were together as the giant single moon burning in the sky of what couldn't be Adelpha. This wasn't the Yodam either. It was not in one of its towers. This is my lighthouse, and allowed me to peek through the veil to another world that is also ruled by the Yods. This means that Adelpha is not their only design. They reign in different worlds too, and on the other side, someone has torn enough of the veil for me to see through it. Explorers have caught my signal, and they're coming. It is only a matter of time before these visitors make it through. But what time? Is it the past or the future? I have no way to know at this point in my journey, but something tells me that Yod-Fe could very much support that move. Yod-Fe is very powerful in that world. So this is it for this moon. I hope you enjoyed it and have a lot of fun uncovering all those lore texts in the game for yourself. If you like what I'm doing, please like and share this video and support this channel. Thank you all for watching, and may the Yods be praised. Maya Afa.